So with Father's Day coming up, I thought I would show off a couple of my favorite things. Hi, I'm Jed, and this is Cook Culture. So fatherhood is something in which I absolutely cherish. Being a husband and a father to my daughter and my son, and being married to my wonderful wife is what fills my entire world. I'm an extraordinary lucky guy, and I love being a dad. So for me, the act of food and creating food for my family is a way in which I show my love and the act of love. And I take that very, very seriously. I work hard every day to make sure that I can get them the highest quality, most nutrient dense food that I possibly can for them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and any snack that they have. And that makes me feel like an accomplished father. That's what fills my bucket. And so cooking is something in which connects me on so many different levels to my kids. And they are now of an age that they're starting to cook with me, and we're having an absolute blast. And they've been learning for a long time, but they're actually now really cooking, which is super fun. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things in which I cherish in my kitchen that my kids love to use also, and that we make amazing family meals together. So the number one thing, if a dad doesn't have this tool, it is critically important, and that is a good blade. So this is an 8-inch chef knife, but any good blade will do. A Santoku, a Nikiri, two good vegetable-based knives. An 8-inch chef is a fantastic all-around blade, but just a really high-quality knife in which you can sharpen easily is an absolute essential. If a dad doesn't have that tool and they really want to be cooking more, this will make life so much more fun. So knife is critical. And then the second most important thing, I think, and I'm probably a little bit biased because that's what I love to talk about more than anything in the kitchen, is a carbon steel or a cast iron pan. So this is a 10-inch Debyer Mineral B. I can do so many different things with this, and this pan will outlast me, right? So you buy it once and you're done. So my daughter loves a crepe. I make crepes in a pan like this as often as I can for her. And or pancakes, really, really easy. Really great kind of breakfast food on Father's Day can be done in a pan like this. So great. Another tool in which is really fun for the family is a tortilla press. So we love making tacos. So tortilla press, making the dough is so super simple, and pushing them out, flattening them, cooking them, it's such a hands-on experience, and it's so much fun. And you can do lots of chopping and prep to get ready. And it's just, a whole family can get involved in it, and it's a ton of fun. So highly, highly suggested. So another tool that I take very seriously, because I do a lot of vegetables, is roasting and cooking of vegetables in the oven. So a really good roasting dish. This one is a Meal Henri large roaster. Also, I have the Staub smaller cast iron roaster, and I use them all the time. They're rotating through the oven constantly. And the thing that's nice with them is that they are super durable. You can prep things in them well in advance, get them in the freezer, pull them out, de-thaw, into the oven, cook, serve, right? They're just so fantastic for family cooking. So highly, highly suggested. Another fun tool is a proofing basket. So this is a cane proofing basket with a cotton liner on it, muslin cotton liner. Fantastic for proofing dough, for making a really quick bread. So bread can seem overwhelming to a lot of people. Super therapeutic to be making bread. I love making bread. I've made bread for a long time. My mom taught me how to make bread, and it's something that I've taught my kids, and it's a really fun thing to do. And a proofing basket just adds to the fun. It's not an absolute necessity, but it really adds to the fun. So the other tool, in which kind of seems funny that it would be a Father's Day gift, but it is a maple rolling pin. And the thing that makes this such a great tool isn't so much that it's hard maple, which is great because it won't dent or get beat up, but it has a really thick steel shaft in it. And so it is super strong. You can't bend the handles, a lot of rolling pins that are kind of cheap and nasty, they really don't work that well because they bend in the middle. Like the wood won't, like, and a lot of time they're made out of fairly cheap wood, but buying a really high quality rolling pin makes the job of rolling out dough fantastic. So if you love making, any sort of pastry or pie shells or a quiche shell, absolutely amazing tool, or pizza for that matter. If you use a rolling pin, it's great. Another maybe an odd thing that you may think, but it's something that I absolutely cherish, is having a salt cellar. So having a flaked salt really close to where you're cooking, so as a finishing salt, not something like a sea salt that you'd be adding earlier, or a fine grained salt, but a finishing salt in a little salt cellar is an absolutely fantastic tool. So something I highly suggest. They come in ceramic also. This one's made out of wood. Something that's really neat is that you could also make something for Father's Day, which would be pretty fun. You don't have to go to the store and buy it. Another really critically awesome tool, if you are getting something like cast iron or carbon steel, or if dad has cast iron or carbon steel at home, chainmail. So this is a silicone chainmail, so silicone in the middle with chainmail wrapped around it. Incredibly useful tool. You can get chainmail in just pieces of chainmail too, but if you are starting to get into cast iron and carbon steel, get some of that. It's an awesome, awesome tool. So another really critical tool that I find for the kitchen is using a really big cutting board. So I have massive big blocks here in my kitchen. They're amazing. I can cut and do whatever I want forever. Things don't stain, and they're just really easy to look after and sanitize. This is a much smaller piece, of course, but for most kitchens, this is a very large board. So I suggest always getting the largest board you possibly can so that you just have a bigger workspace. You want to keep it really well oiled. Maple can dry and crack. If you keep it really well oiled, they're amazing and they work incredibly well, and they are very, very friendly to your knives. So highly suggested. And my final thing is something that is really important to me. On our first wedding anniversary, 16 years ago, my wife and I got ourselves a wooden salad bowl. We bought it at a farmer's market in Victoria, BC, and we absolutely love it. It is such a centerpiece to a lot of our meals, and it's just gorgeous when it's finished over a long period of time now, and we love it. So this one here is made in the interior of BC. It's very new looking. In 15 years, it's probably quite dark and a lot more beat in, but still super strong because it's made out of a hard maple. So highly recommended if you can find one locally, especially out of local felled tree. That would be awesome. So great tool. So I hope some of those have been some neat ideas from our family, the way in which we like to cook. And I hope you have a fantastic Father's Day, and maybe some of these ideas can translate into birthdays and Christmas and so on and so forth. So thanks so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. That would be wonderful, and thank you very much.